We all hear there is a problem with corals being under continuous threats, which makes it hard for them to survive.
That's right. Corals have basically two enemies, the abuse by mankind and the attacks generated by nature itself. That is bad news, but there is some good news too.
You say good news?
Yep, the good news is time still seems to be on our side. As for the moment, we have no documented evidence of corals being affected by the much debated global warming.
And now for the bad news.
The bad news is that existing threats to reefs like storms and typhoons keep showing up unexpectedly. And they are the ones to stir up the water and break down the coral and turn it over in the buttress zone, the shallow area from 15 meters and up.
But even broken down coral will provide a new habitat for small marine life, won't it?
True, but the other bad news for the reef is the El Niño effect, the effect which temporarily heats the Pacific Ocean and kills the coral. El Niño shows up unexpectedly every few years, starting its life in the Galapagos archipelago with immediate effects. Winds are down, rainfall goes up, so does the temperature, and the heated ocean water starts its world tour to travel as far as California and the East African coast.
I see. And then this sudden rise in water temperature kills unsuspecting corals and bleaches them, like this one.
Yep. Though sometimes you're tempted to think that Earth itself puts a limit to bad news. There is evidence that corals might be able to adapt to a slow rise in ocean temperature, as if they are anticipating global warming.
Evidence? Where do you get the evidence?
Because there are reefs, like in Papua New Guinea, which flourish at bathtub temperatures of 32 degrees and more, and that is well over what we thought would be the maximum temperature for corals to survive.
When I saw these coral fields, I was amazed. They have an unparalleled beauty of great magnitude. How about the effects on the marine life populating these reefs, like mantas, sharks, fish, turtles?
This marine life does not seem to suffer either. Turtles keep frolicking on the reef. Mantas perform their flybys over the reefs to scoop plankton, their staple food. Fish schools search the reef for food or use the shelter of the reef where they consider themselves safe from large fishing vessels responsible for the overfishing. The sharks, they are patrolling the...
Stop! Don't you realize that since you started watching just 3 minutes ago, 500 sharks were caught, killed, and finned? That's more than the average diver will ever get to see his whole life. So I wonder what could be done.
Well, make the public aware that our oceans, the marine life, and the invisible reefs have to be pampered, respected. Tell people that Earth will deal with the attacks of nature, as it did for the last 5 billion years. But that the Earth is having a hard time dealing with shark finning, coral destruction, and overfishing.